Well, welcome to my banner. Before I get on it, though, I just want to say that the Save Any project is still ongoing. Fortunately, it is now in India, but what it is we've only managed to raise a little over 7,000 Ghana cedis. What she needs is 15,000 US dollars. So please, you need to keep the donations coming through because we want to save her. We want to make her life definitely better. Okay. But let's move on to the subject of the day. The 2014 edition of the Global Slavery Index, published by the Walk Free Foundation in Australia, shows some 200,000 Ghanaians are living as modern slaves. The group's Global Slavery Index indicates that among 167 countries surveyed, Ghana ranked 21st, representing a drop by 3 places from last year's 18th position. The Global Slavery Index is the world's first measure, country by country, of people living in modern slavery. This includes human trafficking, forced labor, forced marriage, and bonded labor. So, for the first time, the second edition of the Global Slavery Index includes an analysis of what the governments are doing to eradicate modern slavery, which is very good. Walk Free Foundation is a human rights movement, but we will get into that a bit later. I just want to introduce to you my guest who is joining me in studio now, David Kofi, AWC's Advocacy Manager at Challenging Heights. And then later on, we'll be joined via phone by Sonia Kwame, who's Senior Campaigner with Walk Free Foundation. They have a certain connection, and we will break things down for you here on my banner. But I'm interested in the fact that, and I think that we've had this conversation in a different way before, the fact that children are still being trafficked. We're talking child slavery. But isn't it more like child labor because we're talking about children being used on the Volta Lake?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to take this opportunity to greet staff of Challenging Height and all the people who have been supporting us in this work. My name is David Kofi, AWC. I am the Advocacy Manager of Challenging Height. Yes, children working on the lake. There's a technical definition of human trafficking and child labor. According to the International Labour Organization, a work is considered to be child labor if the child engaged in a work that affects the child's health, education, and development.
Okay. So
a child who's maybe 12 years, staying with his own parent, but being sent out to sell on the street, and that work affects the child's education, that you are getting to the zone of child labor.
Okay.
But human trafficking exists only when there is a form of recruitment, either through coercion, either through kidnapping, either through force or exchange of money, and then there's a transportation, a change of location. And the ultimate for that person is exploitation, either in forced labor or commercial sexual exploitation.
Okay.
So while child labor does not necessarily mean change of location and has to do with a work that a child does that affects a child's education and health, human trafficking involves transportation, and the ultimate is for exploitation, either into forced labor or sexual commercial exploitation.
Okay,
so they are two different concepts.
Very well. But what is alarming to me is the fact that you describe it as child slavery. So we're looking at child slavery in modern Ghana. I mean, how possible is that?
Yes, I know. Normally when you use the word slavery, people begin to question. But I wanted to go back to historic slavery. You're using the word slavery because a child who is being trafficked to work on Lake Volta has no voice. What I mean is that that child cannot say no to the work that he or she is doing. He's being forced to do the work beyond his will. That child is not being paid for the work that he does. He receives only little food. He does not receive proper medical care, and that child cannot walk away. In historic
Ghanaians?
It's happening in Ghana. First of all, in August 2013, the ILO and government of Ghana did the research, and in an analytical stage, it came out that 181,000 Ghanaians are in modern slavery. And Lake Volta specifically, we have 49,000 children working on the lake, and 21,000 of this number are children who are involved in hazardous labor.
Okay.
I mean, this is a report that can be verified.
We will talk about exactly what is at the Volta Lake that is attracting people to do this. But let me also say that we're joined via phone now by Sonia. Yeah, Sonia's joining us. All right, Sonia Kwame, senior campaigner with the Walk Free Foundation. They do a close work, if you like, with Challenging Heights, and she's joining us. I want to ask her a few things. Good morning, Sonia, if you can hear me.
Yes, good morning, Nana.
Yeah, thank you very much. I saw an article that you wrote, if you like, directing or addressing to the Christian Council of Ghana in connection with this subject that we're discussing. Do you know exactly where the people who pick children engaged in these kind of work? That's why you sort of direct that article at the Christian Council.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say that is a campaign. The Walk Free Foundation campaigns against modern slavery in its all forms, and we believe that it can be eradicated in a generation. And so that campaign was a campaign against child trafficking in Ghana, and it has to do with the education bit. I'm glad David from Challenging Heights is there, and Challenging Heights is our partner in Ghana. When children were rescued from the lake, information received showed that most of them came from a community that had a church or a religious community. And so the essence of the petition to Christian Council was for the Christian Council to send message to all the churches within that council to educate parents, to let parents know that this is what is happening. It was done during the long vacation, so that if a community had people coming in to say, give us your child, there's a good job for them, holiday job or something, or they'll have an education, they should know that that is actually trafficking in disguise, and they come saying very nice things. So it was Christian Council because of the role that they play, and also the role of the church within the community in sending out that message to their congregation. That was the essence of the campaign, and it's still ongoing.
Okay, so how about the politician? Because, 2016 is just around the corner, and I tell you what, they go everywhere, so they know these areas that we're talking about right now. Are they involved in the campaign?
That's an interesting question. Yes, it's in phases. What happens is that we launch an online campaign, and then we carry on. If you want to tackle a problem, you start first of all ensuring that you do prevention first. And so we believe that it was important for the Christian Council to send out this message to the church communities. We've engaged with the ministry. Early this year, Walk Free Foundation's research director was in Ghana with head of Challenging Heights and other NGOs. And we actually talked extensively on the issue. We'll soon be launching a campaign targeting the government on key things that could be done about modern-day slavery, because there is still a lot more. We have a good policy framework, but implementation is very poor. And so it's still, I don't want to say in the pipeline, but it's something that we plan to do. And campaigning is not just something that happens overnight. It is a process. And to actually tackle a problem like that, you need a multifaceted approach with different stakeholders.
Okay.
So definitely, government is part of that, and we are calling them to action to tackle modern slavery in Ghana.
Okay, so Sonia, let me bring David in this conversation. Tell us, what is at the Volta Lake? I mean, what would we find?
Well, just to paint a picture of Volta Lake, first of all, it's been a major fishing hub for most Ghanaians, though originally it was created for the hydroelectric power. But what happened is that it's a main source of tilapia in Ghana. And so most of the fishermen who work there work as the coastal part of Ghana. But normally during the lean season, they don't usually have a catch from the ocean, so they migrate to that environment, and they happen to have a lot of tilapia, which is one of the most expensive fish that we have in Ghana. So it makes it very attractive. Two, on the lake, communities there are very mobile. They have small communities, and they move to chase where the fishes are. Right on the lake, we also find a lot of tree stumps, and also some dangerous spots on the lake where some of the children get trapped when they go to fish. But majorly people move there for economic reasons, to get work to do, to get involved in fishing, to get money and come back to the home communities to organize wonderful funerals and build their own houses and spend money on other things at the expense of the life of the children who work there.
Okay, because one of the things I wanted to find out is that they can find adults who are capable of doing the work, or it's just their choice of using children?
Well, they can, but the thing is, there's a cost to having children work to you, an adult. When they want to get adult, they have to negotiate with adult on how much that they will pay them for the work. Just like you are working here, you had a contract signed, you come to work, and then you are being paid. So that kind of negotiation works with adults. But with children, because they are children, they are being trafficked outside of their will. Some negotiations are being done with the families of the children without the knowledge of the children. Two, children are easily to be manipulated. When they get to lake, for instance, all the dirty works are being done by the children. For instance, when the net get trapped under the lake, when adults are being sent to go and remove them, because they know it is dangerous and they can die, they refuse to go. But children cannot say no. From a challenging heart experience, some children who even say no are forced to pushed into the lake to go and bring the net.
Okay, so Sonia, are parents aware, or some of them, that their children are going to be involved in these kind of jobs, these dangerous jobs?
Thanks, Nana. Well, if you look at the Global Slavery Index, as well as work that Challenging Heights has done, it says that in Ghana, normally we don't have organized gangs that do trafficking, like transnational trafficking and all that. But what we tend to have is family-related networks. Sometimes the family members are not even aware. Most of the time they are deceived. They just tell them, well, we have a job for your child, there's an opportunity. And most families have a lot of children, especially poor communities. And so they don't want to do anything bad to the child, but they also cannot see them or take care of them. So if somebody comes to tell you, this is an opportunity, you jump at it. And let's not forget that in Ghana, we already have a cultural practice where...
Hello, Sonia. Okay, I think the call just... hello, Sonia? Okay, so we lost Sonia there, but, you know, you do work there. I think the question was, do they understand?
Most of the families...
Do the parents understand what the children are going to do?
Most of the families do not understand what they are going to do.
But do they willingly give the children sometimes?
Some of them, other times to know. It's out of deception. Usually they will come and say, well, I have a son or a daughter in the city. I want one of your children to go and stay with my daughter who has just gave birth to a newborn child, and then I will send your child to school. So the parents are giving out their children thinking that the child is in the city and having some better education, only to realize later that they are actually trafficked on the lake. In most cases, the parents do not know the location where the children have been taken on the lake, and they do not have a chance to travel to go and follow up to know the situations under which that they are working.
So you did, let's talk about some of the things that have happened. In August, you did some operation, and indeed you've actually rescued some children.
Yes. First of all, I mean, Challenging Heights, in the past 10 years, we've supported over 10,000 children, of which out of this number, 1,200 were children that we rescued from Levota and provided them protective care, including education. In August 2014, we worked with the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of Ghana Police to undertake a raid operation in one night, and 6 buses were stopped. And out of these 6 buses, 33 children who mostly were trafficked, and others were at-risk children who were going to be exported once they get to the lake, were removed and were given to Challenging Heights for protection. Last month, October, we also did a raid rescue on Levota, and out of the rescue, we had 21 children who have been trafficked for an average of 4 years, working as a child slave on Levota.
I'll come back to what it is that you do with the children. after the rescue operations. But Sonia is back with us, and it's good that you're joining us from Kenya. Really, we appreciate your time. But you were talking before the line dropped. Hello,
Yes,
Sonia.
Yeah. Hello, Nana. Yeah, I was just saying that in Ghana, because of the practice of fostering, where oftentimes you are sent to live with a relative so that you will be more disciplined, better opportunities, people are very keen, they give out their kids without even looking at the consequences. In many cases, they are not even aware of what is actually happening at the other end. And sometimes they come with
my conversation on child slavery, here with my guest, David Kofi Ewusi, who's advocacy manager at Challenging Heights. I think I was asking what you do with the children after the rescues.
Okay, thank you very much. Usually after we rescue the children, they come with various medical and psychosocial challenges that will not enable them to fit back well into society. So we have a transitional rehabilitation shelter where these children spend an average of 6 months to go through intensive medical psychosocial care and also go to some learning preparation for them to go back to their family. After spending that period of time there, we take them back to their family. We do not have permanent institutional care, and we don't want to have one. We believe that the ultimate and the best place for every child to grow is in the care of their own
with their parents.
So the ultimate for us is to get the children back to their own families.
You know, my fear is that if we don't tackle the core problem, you know, why are parents willingly giving their children, I mean, whether they're going to work for someone or go and live with someone, and they don't even know where. Why are parents readily doing that? And I want to believe that poverty is one big issue, the reason why parents will willingly do that, or lack of education. So are we trying to kill that? Because until we tackle that, then you take them back, you house them for 6 months, do all the rehabilitation things that you want to do, take them back to their parent, and don't be surprised if they end up there again.
Well, yes, that is definitely a legitimate question. Poverty is one of the drivers of trafficking. And so at Challenging Heights, we understand this, and so our program takes into consideration this. So what we do is that before the child comes back to the family, we would have passed through these families through some business training and skill development support. We will do this assessment and provide some seed money for them to start or expand the existing macro businesses.
Okay.
The ultimate is to empower them economically, help to improve their income levels. So when the children come back, they can then have some minimum care.
Okay, so just the last minute of it for you, I want you to talk about prosecution and then funding.
Oh, okay. Yes, I want to say that we want to call on the President of Ghana and the people of Ghana to stand up to support children who are still enslaved. We want to call on the government to take more action. If you look at the slavery index that has come, though Ghana has dropped to the 21st position, but much effort needs to be done. We want to see more in terms of implementation of policy, the national plan of action, and we want to see laws being enforced. In March this year, we were able to support a prosecution, and we want to see this replicated, because prosecution happening means that more people will be discouraged from getting involved in this situation. There is a saying that trafficking around the world flourishes because of high profit and low risk, and the risk here is the risk of prosecution and arrest. In terms of funding, yes. Are
you alone? You get government supports?
We don't have government support now. Most of our funding has been from internally generated resources and also from donor partners like War Free that we are working with on our campaign.
Wow, amazing. How many are you working with Challenging Heights?
Currently we have a staff of 71.
Okay.
And our office is based in Winneba in the central region.
Okay, David, thank you for your time. Really, I really think that this conversation should continue.
Definitely,
child slavery must stop, and it's a shame that we're talking child slavery in Ghana
today.
Yeah,
it is.
But thank you for your time, really, and that will be it for the AM show.